everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you for tuning in. We are the Real Shortbox Live Edition. I'm Donald. I'm here with all my friends. Kevin's going to do the intros. I just want to say hello to everybody before I get into the background and do some background stuff while he does the introductions. Kevin, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you in the 24 time zones on planet Earth. Welcome to the most righteous, most powerful, most entertaining show on YouTube, The Real Shortbox. First, let us introduce the executive producer and co-creator of The Real Shortbox show. He is from the great state of Ohio. He is Bruce Campbell's number 2 fan. He is DC Comics for life. And if you have a problem with it, he might just pop you in the mouth. He was the 2000 Kent State University's Mr. Beefcake. And he was also the newly crowned 2022 second best looking man of North Hollywood, California. Ladies and gentlemen, he is always socially lubricated. He walks like a duck. He talks like a duck. He is the original dog.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, we go to the actual state of Ohio. A man who's now making his 6th appearance on the Real Shortbox live stream. He is a man who has brought back masculinity to professional wrestling. He is a man who lives a life of piety and righteousness. He's a man who is one of the great wrestling promoters of the Midwestern United States of America. He is a master technician of the wrestling submission holds. He weighs in at a lean, mean, and clean cut 235 pounds of muscle. He lays down the law in the ring. He is the Archbishop of Pain. And if you cross this man, he just might send you to the ICU. Please give a warm return welcome to the Ohio Wrecking Machine and co-host of the great YouTube show, The Horror Guys. He is John Lee.
This is off those wrestling promoters week by week, man. I love it. I love it.
And last, but certainly not least, his first appearance on the Real Shortbox live stream. He is a man of many great talents. He comes from the great area of north of Sacramento, of Yuba City. He is a man who has been in Los Angeles practicing and mastering the craft of thespianism of Yuba City. And great actor. He is for 18 years. Ladies and gentlemen, he has been in many different shows. He has been a talented man who has executed the arts in ways that we cannot even comprehend. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been on Jimmy Kimmel Live. He's been in Clemency. He has been on the TV show Castle and Glee. Give it up for Mr. Jed Boger Bird-Dog.
Hi guys. Hello, pleasure to be here. Awesome.
Yes,
And of course,
thank you.
I am your humble podcaster, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Dr. Kevin.
Yes, good doctor. Hello. Thanks
Tonight,
thanks for being here, good doctor.
thank you.
There you go.
Tonight,
Thank you, Doctor.
for the second time this year, we're doing a special short film showcase. We have 2 talented filmmakers / thespian actors / writers / many hyphenates these men have, these skills these young men have. And they're going to share their experiences. We're going to interview them about their particular short films.
Yes. Hello, Enrique, by the way. Hello, Darren, and hello, Maria, for tuning in. We appreciate you guys doing that. This is gonna be a fun one, I think. We're gonna keep this one very informative and fast and loose, kind of like Kevin on a Sunday evening.
Whoa! I don't know what you're trying to say.
You know how you are. Let's be honest.
No, I'm not. I'm not a man like that. Now I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I'm like
yeah.
Sean. I try to be a pious and righteous man like him.
I've never.
Oh, you've just aligned. You backed the wrong horse, Kevin. You backed the wrong horse.
I mean, I'm sitting over here not wearing pants, man. So I don't know. Like,
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the chat right now, I'm going to put the link for the first film we're going to be talking about. This is going to take you to their webpage, actually, which has the link on there. A really cool kind of a way to advertise like a short film like this. This is going to be for Dying for a Living, Chapter 2. Now, Chapter 1 did come out, what was it, last year or earlier this year?
Yeah, earlier this year
Yeah, it
in
was earlier.
March.
Yeah, it was earlier this year, like pretty early in the year that the first chapter came out, and then the second chapter has now finally gotten to see release. And here is the link. I'm going to put that in right now. So everybody that wants to check this out, I'll post it again when we close this one out here, so everybody can copy and watch it later and enjoy. Jed, thank you so much for being here for this one. First and foremost, watching this, it's a little different than what we got with the first one. The first one felt more like a drama, and this one feels a little more like an action film to me. You know. What made the? Do you know what kind of made the shift in that?
Well, we like Darren wanted to do that first one. We were limited in our budget with so many things and timing and everything else. It was during COVID, and once we did that, we were amazed with the final product for Dying for a Living number 1. And all of our friends said, "Yo, you have to make this into a series. This is so good." All of our industry friends were saying, "This is you guys got something. You guys struck gold. Like, this is magic." So it would behoove you all to make this like at least a limited series. So we decided to expand on it for sure. And with Darren's genius, also Jamin Thompson, who was also an executive producer on this, we all kind of did how should we expand it? How should we do that more? And I think Darren and Jamin really did a lot of brainstorming to make this into an action adventure thriller magic awesome production. So we were so happy that the second one has turned into a whole different. We kind of like flipped it just wasn't a thriller. It was a whole bunch of things that we wanted to get across, and I think we successfully executed that for sure. So yeah, and we wanted the action, we wanted the fight sequences and stuff, and we wanted to really give the audience members just so many twists that they wouldn't know what to expect. We wanted them to keep on guessing, like, okay, what's next? What's going to happen now? And I think Darren, he's the king of the plot twists, and I think he did a great job doing that with this second episode, or installment, I should say, this second chapter.
Yeah, the first one felt very intimate, and then this second one just feels like it's just expanding out to create not only more character development with all the characters, particularly with your character that you play, Christo, with that character, but with all the other characters, and it's kind of world building also. It's expanding out to create more of a rich tapestry in which your characters can now interact. We're being introduced to new characters. We do get to see, for those that seen the first installment of this, we do get to see Chris Armas again as Joe, and then we get introduced to Christina Jimenez, who plays Julianne, who does a really excellent job, by the way, in this, introducing her as a new character. I really liked what they did with the character, and I feel like that there's definitely room for expansion within that, not only that character, but within all characters. And it shows with just the two leads, with yourself expanding upon your character, and with Chris's character being expanded also a little bit more. For those that have never seen Dying for a Living at all, part 1, part 2, can you give us a little bit of kind of a synopsis of the first one, so we can kind of know what we're going to be getting into when we start watching the second one as an audience?
All right. So I hope Darren, the director, won't kill me on this, but here goes nothing. All right. So Dying for a Living, part 1, the main character, Joe, hires a shady character to help him do a certain job. And when he meets this shady character, Cristo, who's I play Cristo, I wind up having him change his mind on what he wants me to do to him. And we shot it up in a very intimate bar up in Acton called the 49er Saloon. It was Larry Craft's his bar, and Larry plays the bartender in that. And we see these two strangers meet for the very first time. They don't know each other, but it's pretty clear what the power dynamics, who's the boss and who's not. And Dying for a Living part 1 is pretty much this interesting initial meet of these two fellas that they bond in a certain way. I don't want to give out too many surprises or whatnot. You got to watch it.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it's definitely a thriller, and it's a slow burn, and there's a crescendo, and it's pretty intense. And I don't want to say too much else, but yeah, it's a short thriller. It's 19 minutes long. We won a bunch of film festival awards from cinematography, for the music, for the acting, and for the directing. So like, it's a legitimate, amazing, piece of cinematic art, that has been, positively reinforced with a lot of critics. So I'm just happy I was part of it. And Dying for a Living 1 is a very intimate look of two different types of men coming together at a meeting at a bar, and then craziness ensues. So that's what I want to say, and I'm going to stick to that, okay, without giving out too many surprises.
That's pretty good. I'm fine with that. And a quick shout out to Darren Manel, who created, wrote, and directed this series so far, but also to director of photography Michael Jenkins, who just crushed it with his very unique way of setting up shots and creating a shot list and stuff. How he did it. Kind of virtually, going in and doing a scan of somebody's house, for example, and then adding in characters and creating a space that he could set up to be like, okay, so camera should go here, light should be over here and stuff, and already knew before he even actually had to know. That like being prepared like that is a very unique skill set, and I feel like he has it, which is super important. Oliver Goodwill, who was the composer, did an amazing job, as he always does. And of course, sound mixing by Tim Sloan. Tim is a go-to guy. Anytime you need something done for sound mix, it's Tim. Tim's great.
Tim's the man.
Ashley Bovia, who did the makeup, did an amazing job with that as well. And of course, hats off to Jamin Thompson for being, co-producer in this, kind of Darren's right-hand man, making sure everything got done and everything was on track, time-wise and budget-wise, which is always good to have that person in your corner when you can.
We were very lucky. Like, to me, being part of this group, this tribe, it's just, I'm like dumbfounded. Like, after watching the first time I watched, the first installment and then the second installment, I was like, God, we amplified this whole world even more so. And from what I've heard, from number 3, 4, and 5 is going to be even more. I mean, so get ready for some amazing magic, gentlemen and ladies that are watching.
Can't wait. Yeah. So let's dive in a little bit with your characters, as far as like, So I always felt that Chris's character Joe um, had that perfect storm of nervous energy.
Mm.
Even when he felt at his lowest, it felt like in the first one, and in the second one, it felt he still had this nervous energy, but it also felt like he had changed somewhat. So you could definitely tell that the characters are developing throughout. Your
Yeah.
character specifically, and not to give too much away, but your character specifically in this one is like you had a task to do, you better do it or else.
Hmm.
And you're very resistant to do that. So you don't want to do something that you're instructed to do, much like most of us in living and breathing in this world. We don't like being told what to do. Like it's just the
Hmm.
way it is. And your character reacts in a particular way that's pretty different from what a lot of people would do. A lot of people would just eventually, bend to it, and your character's like, no, fuck this. I'm just gonna do what I
Yeah.
feel is right. What I feel is my own code of conduct. Basically my own moral compass, and
Yeah.
that kind of is the springboard for the whole story in this second one, and probably sets up 3, 4, and 5, and so on and so forth. It dives right in. So it's very interesting. How would you
Mm.
explain this second one? This now that you've explained the first one, I hate to do this to you, but to kind of give
Yeah.
people a
No.
little bit of a teaser as they can expect for this second one. Now I do have a quick synopsis, and you can
Uh-huh.
elaborate or add to this if you feel. But it says,
Hmm.
on the run, Christo finds an unexpected ally. As new enemies emerge, Joe makes a big decision. So that's kind
Yeah.
of where we're getting into episode 2, into chapter 2. Can you kind of build upon that a little bit and kind of flesh that out?
Yeah. So, Darren, I apologize in advance, but yeah. So here's the deal. The whole point, you know, Cristo is a man of principle. He believes what's right to the mainstream may not always be right to the individual at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And he makes a conscious decision of not doing a specific job, and he knows that there will be ramifications to that choice that he has taken,
Mm-hmm.
and he's prepared to deal with that and face the music, so to speak. And this is pretty much just the this second episode chapter is what is just the beginning of of the ramifications that he's encountering from the choice that he's made, his personal choice that he's made, knowing that it sits better in with him than doing the other thing, doing the job that he was told to do initially, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Um, yeah, and then with the character development, I was really happy as well to see the character of Joe to be to be more powerful and strong in his own right. We were able to see that. You will see that in chapter 2. He's a man. He finally, we see that he's a honest to God man, and when if his family's threatened, he's going to step up and he's going to protect him. His daughter and his wife, no matter what. So that's a really good aspect of chapter 2 as well, and for Joe, because we wanted to show multi layers of these characters. If we all see, if there's one, if we see a film and the character, the main character has, like, if he's a one trick pony, he's boring. It's like, come on. But if you can see the different layers and the humanity of that character, then that brings you in more, and you get more emotionally, I guess, invested in wanting to watch and see what's going to happen next to this guy. What's going to happen to this lady. Like, let's see and find out. But if there's no connection, if there's no sign of humanity and no layers, it's kind of just boring, right? That's what I feel, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So wait, did I answer the question correctly? Or?
Yeah, no, you did fine. Basically,
Okay.
the way I felt was the same way. Like you're getting, you're again, you're enriching these characters. You're building upon them. We get to see your character, Christo, be a little more action oriented this time. We get to see him kick a little butt, which is good.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk quickly about, and Kevin, you back me up on this, about the opening sequence for this. Wow. And Darren says in the comments here, he says Jamin created the opening sequence in part 2. It's fantastic. Like, my God, it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's Jamin killed it with that, and the music. When I saw that, I wanted to cry tears of joy because it was so spectacular. I mean, wait, that's my name. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, is this happening? Is this really happening? I almost had an out-of-body experience. I was so, like, amazed of the production value of that. It was, Jamin just hit it out of the park, slam dunk. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was it's really good. Guys, everybody in the chat right now, everybody watching this in later on YouTube, definitely check it out. Click on the link that's in the chat. I'm going to repost it here. Definitely check it out because good Lord, it's so good. It's kind of I akin it to a James Bond opening, honestly. Right. Like very, very James Bond-esque, you know, where there's a gun tilting and a bullet comes out and then it flies into something and it opens up and it says some words and you're like, oh shit. Like they brought the heat.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Just really quickly want to say hello to Frank and Jana, who looks like they popped in basically at the same time. Are you guys in the same room? I mean, it's just kind of crazy.
Could be.
Popped in at the same time. Yeah. But thank you both for joining us. We appreciate that. Yeah. And everybody else in here right now watching that hasn't commented, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Anybody have any questions for Jed and for the production? Feel free to throw that out there. In the meantime, I've been posting some pictures of the production so people can take a look up on the screen. I do want to say that that this one, while it had more action, who did the choreography for that? Like, who helped out with the staging for the fight scenes and stuff?
Well, you know, Darren is a man of many a talent. He wears lots of hats, and you know, he used to wrestle and do a lot of things, and he was the fight choreographer for this, so it was pretty spectacular.
All right.
Yeah, and you know, I got to say, I was in a car accident, and luckily we did all the fight sequences before the car accident because I was messed up big time. But luckily I'm on the rebound now. Good. But like, that's good. He was all about safety, and he wanted to make sure things looked real, and he wanted to make sure that it was believable to you guys, to the audience members. You know what I'm saying? So we also had Jeremy R. Jeremy, he plays the bad guy that I wind up fighting, and that dude's like crazy, insanely physically fit and talented with his stunts and everything. He was on American Ninja, I found out. That guy, oh my God. And he made me look good because I didn't hardly do anything. I was just like doing a couple of quick things. And of course, Michael C. Jenkins killed it, knowing how to properly shoot around. So he would look, and also edit, you know, Darren and he both helped. They did the editing at the end to make it look, you know, fast cuts and stuff to make it look boom in your face. And then Tim did the you know, the sound effects. I mean, and then Oliver had the music in behind. I mean, it was all these layers of just magic. It was crazy. So when I saw this, like, yeah, I kind of remember doing that, but when you see the finished product, it's like, oh my God, that's insane. But Darren was the fight guy. He showed me. We did this several days in advance. You know, so it's like a dance essentially. And yeah, I did ballroom dance in college. You know, thank you, ex-girlfriend. You know, such and such for that. But as we all know, you know, we're actors and artists and stuff. Like, you know, muscle memory and all this. It's a dance, fights, you know, fight scenes and whatnot. So we were able to do this. You know, we rehearsed it several times. We had padding. Everything was safe. I think I wore a like a special garb around under my t-shirt. So I'd be protected and all that because I was scared. I didn't want to get injured. I was like, I'm a scaredy cat. But yeah, Darren killed it with that fight choreography. So he was the director, and that it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
so
I
hats off to him,
watched,
and also hats off to Jeremy for being an amazing stunt man,
yeah.
Actor, fighter, and co-star, making me look good. You know what I mean?
Right. I watched a cut of it before it got released, and I was like, he was asking me, he's like, what do you think of the choreography in the fight? You think it was all right? Do you think the fight looked all right? And I was like, fight looked great. And he's like, "Oh, that's awesome." So I think he was waiting to see if I was gonna be like, "Oh, that sucked" or something. No, but I thought it was great. I thought it looked really good, and super proud of him for that because and you guys as a team, you guys did an amazing job. So it was really well done. One thing I do want to add, which I thought this is super strange. I never knew this, but certain actors like have their own certain sound effects for like action sequences and stuff. Like Harrison Ford has a particular Indiana Jones punch.
Oh wow!
Like it's associated. It's like the Indiana Jones punch. So we need to get like a Christos chop or something like that.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, or something
we gotta get
unique that we like a kick or something. I don't know but so we need to get that kind of established so then we can put that out there and then you can be right next to the Indiana Jones punch.
Oh, that's a great idea. Also, in part 2, I do a couple of action moves where I'm actually grunting. I'm not going to say if I'm choking someone or something else, but I'm yeah. So I think they actually left that in the final. So if you hear if you turn the volume up and you see Christo choking someone out, that's my real grunt. Oh yeah. So maybe we should do a grunt and a punch.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, that could work. Yeah, a grunt punch.
Grunt punch.
Yeah, it's a grunt punch. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do you do a grunt punch? Well, let me show you.
Here you go.
Yeah. Oh, Alex Banquita just popped in the chat. He says, "Hey guys, my schedule really has been crazy lately, so I'm off to bed. Have a good show. Hopefully soon things will get back to normal schedule-wise. Just wanted to say hi." Well, thanks for stopping in, Alex. And if anybody doesn't know that's tuning in, Alex writes a comic book. It's called Headless. It's for Scout Comics. He's done 2 editions of it. He's done the first chapter, which I think was a 3-parter, and the second chapter, which was a 3-parter as well, if I recall. And it's for Scout Comics. It's called Headless. Check it out.
All right.
And while we're on that subject, let's talk about sponsors. I'd just like to mention quickly our sponsors. Kevin, take it away.
Well, I'll do it one. You have the Great Splattered Frogs Brewery. Such delicious beer that they provide coming from the great state of Texas. All kinds of different flavors, purely from the great state of Texas. You can only get it there as through our good friend, Mr. Josh Turner.
You're like, should I say the last name? I think I can. I can get away with it. Yeah. All right. Good night, Alex. Thanks for joining. And one more sponsor shout out to Half's Hot Sauce. Go to halfshotsauce.com. Type in the coupon code Donald Hiccups. Get 10% off your order. Makes excellent Christmas gifts. I'm not even joking. You can get a Christmas pack. It's like 4 bottles of hot sauce in a box. Comes in a really nice gift box that he will ship to your door. And you can get that for 10% off using that coupon code. He has some amazing, very unique hot sauces. He has a trippy pickle, dill pickle hot sauce. He has a killer kiwi hot sauce. He has a pineapple hot sauce. He has a blueberry-based hot sauce. A watermelon rhubarb hot sauce. So you name it, the guy's trying it and doing it. So
awesome.
Some excellent hot sauces that I think you should definitely try out. And Jed, I think you should try them out too. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. Let's do that.
And it comes from the great state of Ohio.
The great state of Ohio. Yeah. 2 people in here from there, and one more that dated somebody from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throwing that out there. Yeah.
What's going on here?
No.
Let's see. Darren's is way ahead of you with a smiley face. He's gonna get the Christo chop, I think, or the grunt the grunt punch. One or the other. Maybe you're gonna get it, buddy. Maybe you're gonna
Maybe
get
a
it.
hybrid. Who knows?
Yeah. My mom says the Sugar Rush Peach is her favorite hot sauce that they have. So definitely try that too if you can. Okay, so back to it. I really enjoyed the scene with it was basically a birthday party setup. You know, it was Joe was setting up. It looked like a birthday party for his daughter, if I recall.
Correct.
And you show up and you kind of spoil the fun a little bit for him, but you're also like, look, dude, you know,
Good reason.
yeah, some shit's about to go down. You're either in or you're out. And if you're out, you're like legitimately completely out, like for good, like forever. And Joe's like, crap, you know, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with this. And then we get some action, we get some fun, and we get an introduction to Julianne, who was coming to check your lawn.
Yeah, correct.
Check your lawn.
Yeah.
Was that a euphemism, by the way? Was she there to check your lawn? You know what
No,
I'm
she
saying?
really was there to check.
He was
his
legitimately
lawn.
there to
Check
check the lawn.
Okay.
And
Just making sure.
yeah.
It needed
I know.
proper treatment. It needed proper treatment.
Well, that's what
the
I was
lawn
thinking.
dead.
It needed
lawn
proper
was dead.
treatment. You know,
She was sad.
lawn was
she
dead,
very
and it needed
barren.
needed treatment.
barren. Yeah, and but you know, Christina playing Julian, she killed it. She knocked it out of the park too. Like we're just just hitting home runs with all the people that are on this on this project. It's amazing.
Great casting.
There was a trunk scene, and if I recall, hearing from Darren, they weren't sure that she was going to be able to fit in the trunk, and sure as shit, she was able to make it happen, which is kind of amazing because some of these cars' trunks are not very big. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
And
one more thing to boot, pun intended, because in Britain, boot.
Yeah, I got it.
Is one more thing to boot. Good. Michael C. Jenkins, he wanted this one shot of me opening up the trunk, hero shot from below in the actual trunk, and he was able to get inside the back of that trunk, and Christina was right there next to him, so he was able to be shot dirty, so he got her like elbow or her shoulder in, and that shot was just spectacular. It was like one of those, remember Pulp Fiction and Quentin Tarantino when they open up the trunk with it was that type of classic shot. And I remember when we were about ready to shoot that, I was like, no way this is going to happen. No way. But sure enough, it all worked out. I mean, it was just amazing how it all worked out. I'm still in awe, and I can't properly articulate it, and I apologize, but it was just like, wow. And then seeing it, oh man, phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was some very creative shots in there for sure. I was super impressed with a lot of them, to be honest.
Executed.
The action was spot on. It was really good. The suspense was there. There was a bit of humor, just like in the first one, which I thought was much needed. It's always good to pepper in a little bit of that humor within. And a lot of the locations were basically, it was all over, right? I mean, there was a location in Encino, if I recall. And then you were shooting up in Acton for the first one. And where else did you shoot, particularly? Like, what other locations?
We shot Christo's interior and exterior of his house in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
A very gracious friend of ours let us shoot in his amazing house and his backyard. And then we also shot up in Encino, or is it Northridge? Yeah, at a house too. Chris's place, the back area, that was phenomenal. And then we did, of course, Acton. We did all for pickups for the very beginning of the second part. and then let's see, and then we also shot the fight sequences with Jeremy and his fight partner. That was also, I think, in Acton as well.
Okay.
So, and then the driving sequence where I'm driving at night, like driving back to my house at night, sipping my Christmas mug. That was also shot in Acton, around that area at nighttime. So it was a trip. So we had a lot more locations instead of the first.
Yeah.
The first episode was just one location. It was actually inside, the parking lot, and then also and then inside the actual bar, the 49er Saloon. So the second one, we have such a huge, rich, tableau of so many different interiors and exteriors that really give the aesthetics to just a well-rounded, amazing, short film that really pleases the eye, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super great that you have that capability that you can shoot. Now, when you said you went back up to Acton to do some of the shots that took place just after the first one, I didn't think about that because I thought, oh, they probably shot that the first time, and then it's just like, well, we'll cut here, and then we'll use that other footage maybe another time. That's not the case. You had to go back to that location and say, hey, we just need to use this exterior, for some shots here. Did you go back inside as well, or was it just all?
Yeah, we went back in, and it was like deja vu.
Wow.
It was crazy. Like I got a little verklempt because I just remembered, seeing, being there, several months beforehand, and then everything that's changed, and all the good stuff that we've had are premieres at the Chinese theater in Hollywood, and the red carpets and all that amazing stuff that we did. And it all started at that 49er Saloon back when we shot it back, in June of last year. So it was like, oh man. And I was concerned because I thought maybe I may have, gained a couple LBSs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Since then. But I told Darren, I'm like, hey, just maybe I had a little more, too much Taco Bell or something, so maybe you can edit around. He's like, no, you look just the same. Forget about it. So that all worked out.
Yeah. But I definitely look, if you want to know if you've gained any weight at all, the best way to do that is to do live podcast shows once a week, and you can see your face every week and know that it's expanded and gotten like from 2 years ago. If you see me from 2 years ago, my face is suddenly, it was like, like a balloon inflating. It's probably, my head's going to be about this large in the next 5 years.
Oh, boy.
Lockdown weight gain.
You'll see two little props holding each side of my giant head up, so I don't fall over. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Like Quagmire.
Yeah. Darren also said Granada Hills. I think you also shot in Granada Hills.
Granada Hills. That's Chris's place.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's where we shot the back area. Well, funny story though. Okay, so we were shooting outside, and we had to stop so many times because there were airplanes going over.
Oh,
we had one day we had to stop, I swear, at least 20 times because all right, hold for the plane, and Tim, our sound guy, was such a champ. He was like, all right, hold for the plane, all right, and bless his heart, like it all worked out. But man,
and then at some points you have to keep rolling, and then he says to hold, and then as soon as he says go, you got to do it. Yeah. So you could get that in between. We had to remember that third line, started that fourth line, go. You know what I mean? So it was very technical, but as a trained thespian, you learn these, you pick these things up. You get it, just all right. It's a job, you do it, and you get her done. You guys were very fortunate that when you went back to a location, the location's still there. It's very a lot of people don't realize this, but in Los Angeles in particular, things change so much. Like you'll have a building there one day, and then you're like, oh, we filmed behind this abandoned building, and then you go back a month later, and the damn thing's gone. They've literally raised it, it's gone, and you're like, oh crap, what do I do now? Like, how do I get back, like, to what can I do? What idea can I, and you got to get creative because you don't always have that. Yeah, everything changes. Yeah, all the time, just like that. Snap your finger, something's different. Oh, we had this tree back there in the background. Someone tore it down, so now we don't have that. What do we do? How do we work around that? Will people notice? Will they not know? If they don't notice, who cares, right? But, You always
Yeah.
think in your head that everybody's going to notice every single little thing. You always do.
You know, they say the devil's in the details. Everything counts and it all matters. And I think that's why Darren, he's like, he wanted things to be so unique for his own, his own specific way. And I knew that because I too feel the same way. And that's why we got such a great finished product, because he wanted these little things, so the minutia of it all. And it was like, I get it, and I'm gonna do it, But I worked with other directors that are like, nah, let's keep on going, and then you see there's that disconnect, or that something's not there, but it doesn't hit as hard, you know what I mean? But with Darren, yeah, he like you said,
he's a man of vision. He's a man of vision.
A man of vision. Must be Ohio. Must be the Ohio, and
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
sure, yeah. I just want to give a quick shout out to Ultraman Magnus, who just popped in. Thank you for joining us, sir. Always a pleasure to have you on. Jed, this has been great. This has been fantastic. I thank you so much for being on and discussing Dying for a Living Chapter 2.
Thank you, my pleasure. Yeah, thank you guys.
I'm going to
Can't
post
wait for
the
part 3.
link.
Can't wait for part 3.
One more time here. I'm posting the link in the chat so you guys can click on that or copy and paste it. You can also go to their webpage. That's the direct link. If you just type in dyingforalivingmovie.com, that'll pop up for you as well. So just type in dyingforalivingmovie.com. It'll take you right to it.
Quick question. Who would win the fight, Christoph or John Wick?
You gotta ask Darren for that. I don't know.
That is a tough one. Gee. Yeah. All right. So Jed, if you'll be so kind to be our guest now, to be an active participant in this, we're going to pivot over to
transition.
Yes, another short film, and this one is done by our illustrious recent co-host here, John Cataline, has done one that is called Ha11ows Eve. So, John, can you give us a little bit of a synopsis for this short so we kind of know what we're getting ourselves into? And while you do that, I will post the link for your film, the YouTube link on the chat.
Yeah,
sure. So we had this Halloween party, and as you all know, if you've ever been to a party or had a party, there's always that random person you don't really know and nobody else knows. So that person kind of shows up at this Halloween party, and it's got a very interesting story to tell, and it kind of plays out to a nice little twist ending type of deal. Real quick, this whole thing was done for another project that was under MMH Productions, which is Matthew Marconnor out of Cleveland. And he had this thing called Deadly Numbers. So basically he took 20 directors, and when he first asked me, I was very hesitant. I was like, I want to do it, but not sure if I can pull it off type of thing. And I said, you know what the hell, I'll jump in. So he randomly drew 20 numbers, and whatever number you got had to go towards incorporated into your film. So we did, of course, the little thing in the beginning where it was Ha11ows Eve, but we took the ones instead of the L's. But that wasn't enough. He said a lot of people kind of went towards just, hey, we named it 5 something, and they were happy with that. But I wanted to do more than that. So we kind of incorporated a Ouija board that I never wanted to touch. Thank God Alan was the one that touched that, not me, because I don't play that stuff.
Right.
It was creepy enough being in the same room with it, actually. We had some weird stuff happen where this 11 souls thing kind of came in, and he had to kill 11 people by All Hallows Eve. So that's kind of the gist of what goes on with that.
Okay. That's a little dark, man. That's a little dark.
A little bit. So, but
yeah.
my horror is my thing, man. I can't help it.
So I to say I have recently watched the film is an understatement. I feel like I've lived it. It was very recent that I've seen this, and it's extremely fresh in my mind. It was co-directed and co-written by you, Alan, and Kevin, correct? Alan McGaff and Kevin Koppel. Is it Koppel?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And then you also edited the film, if I'm correct, yes? Mm-hmm. Okay. And as far as the story is concerned, so they gave you these bare bone basics of what to go by, and then you were like, let's just Let's murder some people. Was that like, was in
Pretty
your
much,
head?
yeah.
Let's just murder
Yeah,
some
well,
people.
we had an idea a while ago, something about more or less like we wanted to do an anthology. So I kind of wanted to keep a little bit of that. We had an idea of like this whole Ouija board thing that I don't know why. I've never touched one a day in my life because I don't
How
want
much do you have to pay if you to touch one? How much do you have to pay in order for you to touch one?
you know what, dude, that was all Alan. Kevin brought it, and Alan was the one that messed with it. I was like, I'm not going near it. I'll look at it because I had to, but I didn't want to touch the damn thing, man.
Yeah.
As far as all of us kind of working together, I am like an idea person, but I'm not very good at putting it on paper when it comes to like something like this. So Alan was more or less that person because Alan's good at stuff like that. Kevin was throwing in the ideas. Well, unfortunately, when it came down to time to kind of put it together, Alan kind of bailed on me a little bit, and Kevin disappeared for a while because he had some problems in life, which is unfortunate. But so I just kind of sat there one day and was like, screw it, man. And I started just typing everything out. And somehow we pulled off some type of something. It's not fancy by any means. I told you that when we had talked about it. It's not fancy at all. It's definitely not any kind of huge production type of thing. But for us, we had fun. And honestly, like that was the biggest thing for us, man. It was really a group of good friends and fellow actors just really having a good time and just trying to put something together.
That is how it all starts, though, is the thing. And that I want to explain to anybody that watches this. This is how it all starts. You get an idea, you get some friends together, then you put something together. You have fun doing it, and you go, you know what? This was fun. I had a good time doing this. I had a good time acting in this or editing or writing this or whatever. And you're like, maybe that's my niche, and I could do more of this. And then you start to do more of that. And then you're like, well, you know what? I did like doing that writing thing, so maybe I'll go back to that a little bit. And then you start to branch out a little bit. And you develop all these other skill sets that make you well-rounded as far as like your talent's concerned and what you can do. And then you start to hone each individual talent as you move on, as you progress. So just for people to keep in mind that, yes, if you compare Ha11ows Eve to another film or, like Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever, they had millions of dollars in budget in plenty of time. And you guys did not have millions of dollars for a budget. But what you did have is you had willing participants, you had a good idea, and you had a hell of a lot of fun. And you can see it within the filmmaking, within the finished product. So that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what makes it worth watching, I think. Kevin, what did you think of the film?
I liked the little twist, that in the second half where things were turned around once they introduced the concept of the Ouija board, and also that creepy mask that a certain character wears. Does kind of creep you out a little bit. It's like, whoa, look at that thing.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It was cool for me too because I was able to get my daughter involved in it with it too. So that was a lot of fun to have her on board with that. She's 13 now, and she's like into the horror thing. And this was a couple years ago that we did this. So like she's all into it now. And like she was real shy at first. I was doing a filming for something else, and she was with me that night. And they asked her if she'd play a dead body, and she said no. She was like, no, I don't want to do it. So I was in the basement filming something. I come up and she's got like eye makeup on, and I'm like, are you actually going to be in this? She was like, yeah. So at one point I had to crawl over to all these different bodies in this attic, and she was, the first one. And I told her, I said, don't laugh. She was like, I'm trying not to. But she had a blast. She's like, you know what? I'll pretty much do anything now. So to have her in there dressed the way she was, gave it that innocence look at the very end there. And I thought that was a big, kind of a nice little twist to it, because here she is a kid, but then she's also dressed the way she is. I'll give it away. It's okay. She's dressed as a nun. So that kind of was like, damn, man, you just did some bad stuff to a child and a nun. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're not a good person.
Well, at this point, you might as well mess with the Ouija board then at this point.
Yeah.
Right? No, I'm still not doing that. No.
Ward,
$1,000.
director of The Multiverse, just popped in. He says, I'm here to see my boy, John Cataline. Thanks for joining, Ward, director of The Multiverse. I had no idea that you had directed The Multiverse, or I would have asked for a few favors over the years. Just saying.
That's our buddy Matthew. He comes to all our shows. He's a good kid.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining and thanks for being a part of all of his productions, all of his shows, his matches and stuff. It's really cool of you. He appreciates it and so do we.
Very much.
So that scream at the end,
Yes.
was that really your daughter screaming?
No, she couldn't do it.
Okay.
She was like, so I told her what we were doing, basically how we were setting it up, and she was like, "Can you add a scream? Because I can't do that." I said, "Absolutely, it's okay." I was surprised to get her to do what she did, but for never really doing anything where she had to like act really or talk and anything, I thought she did really good though for what she did. I'm proud. Then again,
Yeah.
I'm biased because it's my kid, but still,
Right.
I was proud of her though. I was.
Well, if I thought she sucked, I would have already texted you. Your daughter sucks. But,
I highly doubt you would do that.
but you didn't get the text, so
I
you're good.
did, well, not yet. Let me check. I should probably double check. Right?
I sent it during this.
Went to the spam folder if it's in there.
Wouldn't that be horrible? What a shit person would I be? Your daughter sucked in this. No.
It's cool to look back on it now though, because like our one friend, unfortunately, my friend Anthony, the guy with the afro, the other guy with the afro, because I had one too. Unfortunately, he passed away. So to be able to look at that and kind of, honestly, man, it may sound weird, but like just to hear his voice, because you haven't had that, obviously because he's gone, and just to see him on screen and stuff, and just that was Anthony. He was just a jokester, loved to have a good time, really like just a funny guy. So it's nice to look back and see him in that aspect too. So, and our friend Jimmy, that was one of our newspaper victims, he unfortunately passed away too. So to have them a part of that is really cool to, to say, hey man, I can look back on that and I still got those guys in some capacity where I'm able to see them, and
Memories.
yeah. A video of them being there, yeah. I completely understand. When my buddy Will, before he passed, we went to New York. We took a trip just to see if we wanted to move there. We were going to move to New York or LA. And so then I have all this footage. I still haven't been able to watch it. It's been like almost 20 years now. But I have it if I ever want to go back to it. And it's all of our adventures in New York of being stupid. It was during that infamous 2001
blackout?
2003 blackout.
3 blackout.
That happened in New York. Coincidentally, it was caused by Ohio.
Oh, geez.
Which is funny.
Sorry.
Because I go to New York and there's this huge blackout, and it's the state that I came from that caused it. And they were like, whoops, I was like, all right, Ohio, I won't move there. God,
It's a sign.
Yeah. So I posted up a few pictures here, John. We just got with the party one of you getting down.
Oh, yeah.
That one's freaking hilarious.
That was something, let me tell you, that kind of just came about. Honestly, I found a dance on TikTok and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm using that. And nobody knew it was coming. So it just kind of happened. And they were like, I'm trying not to laugh right now, but yeah.
Where'd you find the suit?
Man, you know what? I did do you remember Brother Love?
I love Brother Love. I love Brother Love.
Years ago, I dressed as him for a Halloween show. So that's where that came from.
Oh, man. That's one of my favorite characters the WWF days. I love Brother Love.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, he's a cool character. I'm just posting up another picture here of you guys partying, and now we're getting into the karaoke singers. Just having a blast.
So that's Ross Carlo and his wife, Laura Lee Carlo. So he shows up, had no idea what costume he was going to wear, right?
Yeah.
He knew he was coming over. We were going to film everything. And he comes walking up the driveway. And he used to have a huge beard. So he goes walking up the driveway, and I'm like, who the hell is that? And he gets closer, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Ross. And we couldn't stop laughing because we're not used to seeing him like that, right?
Right.
He comes in with a whole character. He's like, so my name's Rainbow Gold. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. He had an entire character ready to go, man. It was honestly, I couldn't stop laughing.
My name's Rainbow Gold. Oh, okay.
I mean, the whole thing set, man, ready to go. I was like, damn, you put dedication into that, man.
Well, my name's Skittles. Nice to meet you, Rainbow Gold.
Right?
All right, just putting up a picture of your daughter in the nun costume right before she's unceremoniously murdered, apparently.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, yeah. Like, you sent me so many photos of dead people. I was like, like people dying. I was like, all right, I'm going to use half these. So I started labeling it Dead Dude 2, Dead Dude 3. Dead John, this is a good one. This is you. You do not look pretty, dude. Are you? Is your eye popped out?
It is. Yes, I got messed up. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I gotta watch this now. I'm gonna watch it on my phone.
So, if you watch it, I'm telling you, I'm sorry in advance. It's something, man. Like I said, it's not fancy or anything, but we did, and like I said, I was very hesitant. It was one of those. Do I want to do it? Yes. Have I always wanted to do that kind of stuff? Yes. But can we pull it off? We did. Again, it's not pretty or anything like that, but it was just something. It was just the idea, man. I love Halloween time, so for me to have that Halloween party setting was perfect. I think for that, we did submit it to a couple little festivals. We did get best ensemble cast. We got best set design. So I was proud of that, and we got I think it was a People's Choice for the one Severed Limbs. So that was cool, man. The people liked it, to watch it. That's all that really matters. Again, something to look back on and just say, hey, man, we had fun.
In my hometown, they did a short film festival thing, and I submitted for it, and I did not win because it was one of those where you had to have the people show up, and then everybody in the audience voted. So I was living out here, and I submitted it to the festival back in my hometown, and so I couldn't generate enough. From a distance, like, hey, go see this. I couldn't show up at your door and be like, you need to go see this. So, but it was great because I got to see, I think it was my uncle, and one or two of my cousins, my mom and dad, I think, and my sisters and stuff, and they all showed and they took pictures and stuff inside. So it was really cool that they got to see something I did up on the big screen, and I got to see them kind of enjoying it in photo form, which is the next best thing, because I just couldn't make it home for the festival, but that still played and everything. So it was really cool that everybody came out to support, which is great,
Okay. Speaking of moms, my mom was actually in Ha11ows Eve too. She was the ghost that came to the door to trick or treat. So,
that's awesome.
I had to throw her in there too. I had to.
Yeah, she's in the poster even.
Yes.
Yeah, she made the poster.
That's great. Your mom supported you. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah. A friend of ours, Frank, he played the cowboy that came to go trick or treat, and then I told him he was too old to trick or treat. He called me an asshole.
Yeah.
But I told him, I was like, you really meant that though, didn't you? Like, I could tell, like, he really a lot of power behind that. He was like, asshole, like I was like, okay, I did it.
Yeah.
He really meant that. That was kind of hurtful.
Well, because you didn't give him any candy, so there's that.
I didn't. Yeah. See, my mom was lucky. She had a sheet on, so I couldn't tell. He was like a full-fledged old dude with a mustache. I was like, nah, man, you can't be here,
That's true.
There were two very smart characters in the short film towards the end, that left before certain things happened.
Yeah, we wanted to. So like the way we wanted to do that was Bill Long was our guy that got his face drew on while he was passed out, obviously because he was drunk. So that was one of my favorite parts though, because he's like a very quiet person in real life. But when he stopped and was like, all right, which one of you assholes drew on my face? It was just the way he did it. As soon as we were done with that, we started laughing because it's not common for him to actually like be like that. Mm-hmm. So that he was hilarious. And then we wanted him and his son to leave, obviously. So what we were basically doing was dwindling down the numbers. So when we got to that, when he finally does kind of, show us what he's there for type of thing, and he starts to do his business, we'll call it. When you get to that point, you realize you're one short. And that's when, of course, Sister Madison comes into play. And yeah. That's when I became a dad,
I was doing the math and I was thinking like when he was talking about, and everybody like started, like a couple people started leaving, and I was like, wait, we're under 11. I was like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And then, he showed the 3 people that he killed prior, and I was like, okay, so we need 8. And then I'm doing the math again and I'm like, wait, is he going to kill himself? Like I thought he was going to kill himself, and that was going to be the 11th, right. And that was going to finish the ritual, so to speak. So in my
doorbell
head,
rings.
Yeah, in my head, that's what was going to happen. And then the doorbell rang, and I was like, "Oh shit!" This is not. Yeah, this is not what's happening. Okay, all right, I get it. I get it now.
At least this teaches us a lesson. If you're going trick or treating, do not go by yourself ringing doorbells.
Right.
That's true. See, She was smart though. She was one of those kids that was like, "Listen, I'm out late because I know that's when all the leftover candy comes." She knew. She was smart, man. She knew what was going on.
Smart to a certain extent.
Well, yeah, that's very true. You went to the wrong house that night.
Well, she just got unlucky. That's all. She
Yes.
just wasn't lucky that time. But you know,
As
it was a good idea.
As she watched the movie Trick or Treat from over a decade ago, she would understand not to do that.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's one she hasn't seen yet, so I'm gonna have to show her that one and let her know.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great movie. Yeah. It's a great movie. Ward, director of the Multiverse, says, "Don't forget Kip. He was great in the movie."
Yeah.
And Darren says, "Oh shoot, Bill Long is in this."
Oh, I don't know if he is it the same person he knows. His name's William Long. We call him Bill, but he's from originally from PA, but he's from Ohio now. So yeah, he's
maybe Darren. I don't know. You guys might know the same Bill Long.
I mean, he does do movies and stuff like that. He was prior to this, obviously, he was doing stuff. He's done camera, he's done directing, he's all kind of stuff as far as movies go.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Well, anything else that you want to add, Kevin, John? Anything you want to add about this?
What about Brother Jed? Do you have any questions for Brother John on his?
Yeah,
show?
as an
no, I gotta watch it. I'm excited. I mean, I know, you know, but yeah, those Ouija boards are scary for sure. I don't mess with those either. I totally understand where you're coming from, man. So
hey, if we pay you $1,000 each, wouldn't you just spend 3 minutes on the Ouija board?
No.
I don't know. Well, now, John, you said something about something happened during shooting. Did you? Can you share with us maybe? I mean, if you're allowed to.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. We want to know about. Yeah, we want to know what type of magic or craziness.
Oh
happened.
Yeah. So we're shooting this like little off room of like the garage basically, because that was all my place. So it's like, you know, the garage is like half a bar, so that's where we got the bar atmosphere from. And then there's like another room off the side there, which was like super dark and like creepy looking. So we just added some creepy shit to it. Yeah. And we're filming at one point and like the light just goes out for no reason. And I'm like, all right, dude, come on, like for no reason. I'm like, all right. So then all of a sudden we get it back on, it goes out again. I'm like, okay, so this is not happening, right? Because I don't want to be in this room anymore. Like I want to go. Yeah. And then Alan brought his son, and it was so dark, you know, you couldn't see him. We had him like hid away in a corner, and all of a sudden something moved, and I'm like, Alan, please ask if that was your son that moved that. And the poor kid started crying. We thought he was in trouble. I was like, no, you're not in trouble. I just want to know if it was you or a ghost, because if it's a ghost, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like we're done filming, completely out of here, dude. But I mean, it was just weird because I've never really been in the same room with one. When I was with Madison's mom, she was into that kind of stuff. And there was a day that she was like, yeah, so me and my sister and my friend, we're going to bust out the Ouija board later. And I left. I was like, you call me.
Smart. Smart.
I'm not. Exactly. I was like, I don't want to be, listen, because I'll be the one to get possessed. They're fine. And I'll be the one over here spitting up pea soup and shit. And I don't want to do that.
No. Yeah. John, you have to believe that your body is a temple and that it cannot be penetrated by a demonic entity.
I'd walk in the room like, what are you guys doing? Right in. And I'm like, shit.
Oh.
Here I go. You know?
He didn't even get a chance.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it. I had one hanging up in the hallway at my apartment here, and my roommate one day he knocks on my door and he's like, "Hey man," I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "So I know you have this up for Halloween, but like, can we throw it away?" I said, "What?" And he's like, "Can we just throw that board away?" And I was like, "No," I was like, "It's decoration." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting bad vibes, man. It's making me feel weird." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's making me feel weird." And I was like, "How about I just get rid of it?" And he's like, "Okay." So I just like got rid of it. I think I gave it to somebody else or something. I didn't even put it in another room or anything. I just literally I gave it to somebody instead.
Is that person okay? Is
that what you're telling us? It's like 2 days later it appeared back in your room. Like, oh no.
Yeah, that person's fine. There's no problem. But I don't think they're using it or ever have used it for like any altruistic purposes.
Watch. Dude, you're a huge fan of the Halloween franchise. They just made a Halloween 3, a Ouija board. And don't get me wrong, it's cool as shit looking. Mm-hmm. I don't want it though. I can't do it. No.
John, I'm sending it to you as a Christmas gift.
What's this?
He's gonna open it up and nope. And toss it.
Like, hell no.
Toss it out a window. Yeah. Darren says, "Yeah, you're dang right. It's him. I introduced him to Alan. He got a special thanks in Dying for a Living 2 in the credits. So it is the same Bill Long."
Well, that's pretty damn cool. Small world, right?
Yeah. Ward
Yeah.
says, I would never use a Ouija board. Only an idiot would conjure spirits. The demonic
Smart man.
presence that comes from a Ouija is truly unholy.
Yes, and I don't want that. I'm
Yeah.
good.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's wrong. I think it's malicious entities that are there to cause trouble for sure. There's nothing ever good that's come about from those. Like, oh, it's really my grandma. No, it's not.
But if you have holy water to bless the board to prevent those demonic
I
spirits,
don't think
wouldn't
that's
that
how
help?
it works. I don't think you can then use the
Can I-
board if you douse it in holy
Can I-
water.
Use it if it's submerged in a tub of holy water. Can I still use it the same way? Like, does that work? Or
You're in a
Like a float
diver's
seance?
outfit. You're in
In a pool of holy water.
Right.
I'm doing a submerging, floating in holy water
Yeah.
seance. Hopefully that works. Though who knows?
Yep.
So, John, you're terrified of conjuring like a real Candyman.
I mean,
Real life
see,
Candyman.
listen, I would rather him show up behind me right now than whatever's going to come out of that board, man. Who wants to call a young priest and an old priest? Who wants to have to go through all that shit? You know, it doesn't work. It
That's
doesn't
true.
work, you know?
It's true.
Next thing, you're floating in the air, spitting on people, you're swearing and you're putting crosses in bad spots.
I
Who
was
wants-
I was part of a apartment cleansing one time, a house cleansing. Me and my roommate went in to cleanse a home that was being haunted by the spirit of the man that had passed there prior.
Was he like an angry ghost or no?
He was not nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm.
Would you, so how did you, so question, because I don't know how that works. How did
Yeah.
you cleanse? What did you use?
Well, we used the holy word. So my friend's very Christian, so we used some Christian what would you say?
Amen.
Cleansing psalms or whatever.
Purification.
Right.
Purification.
He was playing those. We actually got it up on YouTube, and he was playing that, and we were
Ooh.
playing that on YouTube while he was dousing holy water and burning sage. I was burning Palo Santos, and we laid black tourmaline in the corners of the room to target the spirit, so the spirit then felt uncomfortable in the room and would leave. And then we did the same thing with the next room, so the spirit would feel uncomfortable and leave that room, and eventually just left the door open to the front, and then the spirit would leave. Maria says he had Latin chants playing, 2 different ones at the same time. That's what it was. It was Latin chants.
Wow.
But it was Christian, or Catholic, one or the other, but there were chants.
Yeah.
What kind of job do I have, says Ward. I do nutritional consultation and sales. That's what it should be.
And now you could be a spiritual. You could be a spiritual
Nutritional
consultant.
consultation and sales. Demon hunter. That's what it says on my card. But I do a lot of things, man. I work at a comic shop. I do nutritional consultation. I do filming. I do the podcast here. We do an audio podcast. Speaking of advertising, Kevin, we do an audio podcast. It comes out usually almost every single Thursday or Friday, once a week on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Podbean,
Google,
Blueberry. Yeah, you name it, we're on it with our
Stitcher,
audio podcast.
everywhere.
The video podcast, the live show. This is like every Monday. Next week, speaking of which, guys, just not to break this up, but next week will be our last live podcast show of the year. We will be taking a break for the holidays, and then we will not be back until most likely, what is it, Kevin? It'll be the 9th, if I'm correct.
Monday, January 9th.
Yeah, so Monday, January 9th will be our next live show after the next week. So we'll have one next week on the 12th, and then after that, our next one will be January 9th. So just to let everybody know, we won't have, we'll have a couple, like 3 weeks off where we won't be doing the live show.
Donald's going to Deutschland, I believe.
Yes, I'm going troll hunting. Yes.
Castle hunting.
Yeah,
You can add that to your-
castles.
Now too.
Yeah.
Troll hunter. See,
I'm gonna yes. Nutritional consultation and sales, exorcisms, spirit hunter, and troll hunter.
yes. See,
Nice.
This works. My business card's getting pretty full.
You get two of them. Two
Yeah,
business cards.
right? Yeah. Which one do I want to give you? What did we talk about? This one. Yeah.
Just make it where it like folds open and it has all the rest of the shit on the other side. There you go.
There we
man.
go.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Perfect.
Done.
All right. Well, this has been great, guys. I just want to
It's
thank you
fun.
again. John, thank you for Ha11ows Eve. Jed, thank you for Dying for a Living, Chapter 2.
Christoph.
I'm going to bring up both posters here. The promo for Dying for a Living is up on the page here. This is a full one. So that's what that looks like. I don't know if you guys could see it behind Kevin, but that's what that one looks like. So I'm going to bring that up right below John's here, and we'll have that up on the screen. So there we go. Everybody, thank you so much. Kevin, as usual, thank you for being here, being
you.
part of this. And I want to thank you guys in the audience for being a part
Yeah,
of
thank you
this
guys
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
Real quickly, Ward says, comics and filming stuff, two of my favorite things to do. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Well, definitely follow us if you haven't been. We do a lot of fun stuff. Darren says, John, how long is your film? Out of curiosity, wanted to check it out tonight.
A little over 18 minutes.
Yep. About 18 minutes. And Enrique says, thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you, my mom and dad, for being on. Everybody, if you would please say hello to my mother and father real quick, because I did not do that.
Hello. Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Mama
Mom
and
and
Papa
Mom and
McKinney.
Dad.
It's a weekly tradition. And hello to Evan. I saw that you popped in. I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. And anybody else that popped in that I did not see. We appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. And if we don't see you out and about anytime soon, perhaps we'll see you
At the living and always hallowed comic book shop.
Good night, everybody.